Hey everybody, it is Tuesday, and it is the Tuesday after WrestleMania. Welcome to the latest edition of Wrestling Ramblings. And I'm still an old man. This week, I have a title. For my video, and it's called The Good / Great, The Bad, and The Ugly. So some of you will recognize that as a movie title. Well, not good, great part, but The Good, The Bad, and The Ugly was a Western way back in the day. What's a Western, you say? Well, about cowboys and things like that. A lot of them had John Wayne. So looking back at the week that was basically in the world of professional wrestling, and of course, it was Mania week, right? It was WrestleMania week and weekend. And so we're going to start there. Great things happening all over the place too in other wrestling events as well. Now, I did not get to see Multiverse. It was on way too late for me and Jeff and myself to stay up to do it. We wanted to, but it again just way too late. We were kind of beat. Jeff wasn't feeling all that well, so we're going to have the watch along for that. We're still going to do it. So for those of you who did watch it or didn't, we are still going to do it. Not this coming Sunday, obviously, because it's Easter. Happy Easter, by the way, ahead of time. It'll be next Sunday. So instead of our weekly wrap-up show, we're going to do the watch-along for Multiverse, which should be cool. I know the results have been out there, and you know, it's cool. But if some of you didn't watch it, it should be a lot cheaper to watch now on Fight TV. So we are going to do that. So that was Impact. They had that little live show that we did beforehand, which turned out not to really be that much. It was just a promo, pretty much for Multiverse. Got a match or two, but nothing really substantial. And good, a lot of things in the wrestling world in general going on. You had Vincent and Dutch. Wow, right? Vincent and Dutch showed up in ROH. I started predicting this about maybe a week and a half to 2 weeks ago, saying that I thought that they were going to end up back in Ring of Honor. They dropped that little hint that said Hope dies, right? And there was really, you know, nothing relatable to Hope dying in WWE. So, you know, just kind of got to thinking, well, the Ring of Honor pay-per-view is Friday, the same day as SmackDown and the Hall of Fame. So kind of got to thinking, you know, I know everybody was all about this Wyatt 6, but, you know, a lot of us have to remember, guys, that the Wyatt 6 was never, ever confirmed. It was never, ever mentioned by Bray by name. That's his Twitter handle. And we, you know, way, way back on Abby's and Jeff and myself have kind of always said that we thought that meant his personalities. So the 6 different personalities or the 6 different forms of Bray Wyatt, not necessarily a faction. So everybody just assumed that was going to happen. And, you know, they showed up at NXT, and of course everybody got excited because they were at the tryouts, but they were never signed. They were never signed to a contract. And so, you know, when they showed up, I know a lot of people were very disappointed, but you got to realize that it just wasn't going to happen probably from the very start. It was a rumor for the entire time. And, you know, and now, you know, they're back in Ring of Honor. They are Ring of Honor guys. They have been for a long time. They obviously love it, and they have gone back there. So the Righteous, of course, they call themselves. And they're going to be awesome in Ring of Honor. So I think that's a great move for them. They will be amazing there, as they have been before. And join a good group of wrestlers that are in Ring of Honor. So I think that's a big boost for Ring of Honor. And there's that. Before I get to Mania, of course, there is all of the Bray news. Your guess is as good as mine at this point. I'm not going to speculate. All we know is, for a fact, he was out with an illness. That's all we know. He was seen by a fan in Florida, which went viral. And then he supposedly there was a picture taken in an airport. No one's confirmed that. Someone took a picture of him from the back, almost like, you know, a sneak up kind of a picture. No one's confirmed that. It was him and his children and wife. No one's confirmed whether that was a new picture or old. And then he was seen after Mania by two guys driving in a car. He kind of pulled up, you know, on the side or next to them or on the side of them, and they yelled out the window and said, you know, why weren't you at WrestleMania? And his response was, and you could hear it, it's very soft, but you can distinctly hear it, and he says, tomorrow is my WrestleMania. So then everybody kind of got excited because I believe that happened after night one. Again, no confirmation date, but I believe that happened after night one. So everybody got excited, thinking that he was going to show up on night two. He did not. Bobby Lashley did come out 2-0, really just to show off his trophy. And that was it. Nothing, really. So your guess is as good as mine. I'll get to it a little bit again later because of things that are going on, but I don't know what is happening with Bray. I would imagine that, you know, it does take a while. If you're out for a length of time like that or a long time, it does take you a while to get cleared. There's more things than just looking good, right? You know, if it's a serious illness that affects your breathing or affects any other part like that, you know, that's conditioning. You have to be brought back in slowly to be in condition and be ready to wrestle. So obviously, you know, if he was ill, they're being cautious, and rightfully so. So other than that, I have no news. Alexa Bliss too. I also have no news. She said she was there. I don't doubt that. If Bray was there too, I don't doubt that. They probably just went to watch. So a lot of people were there, right? Watching WrestleMania, I would imagine a lot of wrestlers and stuff. So I have no earthly idea on that. So let's get into my highlights from WrestleMania. And this, of course, is the good to great. The great of my video is going to be the final two matches. Charlotte and Rhea was phenomenal. The story that they told in the ring, the moves that were made, the length of the match was spot on. You can tell that, well, listen, we knew that this was going to be a good match, right? Because they had an amazing match when, during COVID Mania. And so we knew that this was going to be a good one. Well, it absolutely was. It lived up to the billing. It was a great match between these two. Various times throughout the course of the match, you really weren't sure who was going to win. Both women going back and forth, false finishes here and there. And, you know, it was just really a phenomenal match. The crowd was on their feet the entire time. And of course, Rhea in the end finally won and went over. And, you know, then you saw Charlotte sitting on the outside, with a smile on her face. And, you know, a lot of people are saying, well, she was kind of just laughing, you know, is that Charlotte kind of cocky laugh? Okay, you got me. And maybe that was part of it. But I also think that she was smiling because she knows what this moment means for Rhea Ripley. And maybe that's where Charlotte is in her career right now. Maybe she's at the point where, you know, listen, Charlotte has proven time and time again, like her or not, that she is the best in the business in WWE. No one can beat her if she wanted to, you know, that's just how it is. She's just better. She's that odds on better than everybody else there. And, you know, there really isn't anyone on her level. So I think maybe she's at the point in time where she is going to start putting some people over, having some people get to or step up maybe to her level a little bit. And that's how it's going to go. But the right person won, in my opinion. Rhea won, and I think she deserved it. She did have that match with her at Mania and during COVID, and of course that was what it was, you know, no fans. So it was great that they could do this again in front of a packed house, which, by the way, man, no joke, 81,000 people on both nights, I think, roughly over 162,000 fans in 2 days. Man, that's a lot of people. That's impressive. They sold the place out both days. So yeah, so the women's match was amazing. Now the controversy was where, should that have been the main event? And I was saying after the match that it should have. But then Sami, Zayn, and Kevin Owens versus the Usos happened. And that was, you know, we all know the storyline. We all know the bloodline. We all know where that's gone. And that has been an absolutely amazing story from start to finish. And we weren't sure what was going to happen here, but let me tell you, like at no one time during this match with the Usos and Sami and KO did I not think that either of them could have won that match. So many, oh my God, I don't think I've ever seen as many super kicks as I've seen in that match in any other match I've ever seen. The super kicks that they were giving to KO and Sami, Sami was just looked at one point like he couldn't even get up off the mat. I didn't really know how they were going to end up overcoming that. No one really has in the past. So it was just absolutely amazing storytelling that they did. It was truly an awesome match. The right people, again, in my opinion, went over. Sami and Kevin Owens won the match. Of course, those last 3 haluva kicks to Jay, you can almost see a little bit of a pained look in Sami's face when he did it. And then, of course, Jay just falls out of the corner into Sami's arms. I mean, poetic and brilliant. Really brilliantly done. And then, of course, they celebrate at the end with a hug and was just a tremendous moment for Sami, who, by the way, I didn't know this, but was the first man of Syrian descent to be a tag team champion. I believe they mentioned that. That's amazing and well-deserved. Sami has had an amazing year. Last year into this year between, Sami Uso and being with them and this whole thing with going up against the bloodline and everything just been brilliant. And they gave it to the right person in that main event. So night one, a couple little other things. You had Brock and Omos. Brock and Omos was night 2, was it? Yeah. You had John Cena and Theory. Theory went over, no big surprise. The only thing I took from that was that Cena looked a little rusty, and of course you would think he would be. He hasn't been training, he hasn't been in wrestling for a while, so he looked the part a little bit. Bayley, Dakota, and Io against Trish and Lita and Becky. It was okay. Again, you could tell that Trish looked phenomenal. Trish was amazing in the ring. Lita, was good. Lita was good. A couple little, just little things you could see. And again, you certainly can't fault them. They don't wrestle full time. They did an amazing job throughout the match and stuff like that. And again, the right team won, I think, there too. The men's tag team match was strikingly amazing. Again, this was something nobody really gave much thought to. But the men's, that was really good too. Done really well. Some huge spots in that match. That big corner, like pyramid thing that they do and they build up in the corner and then they do that big suplex where everybody goes over was amazing. So that was a bit surprising at how good that was. And so night one, to me, was brilliant. And we said that after the watch-along that it was absolutely brilliant. And I thought it was fantastic. Of course, The Miz got beaten up by McAfee and Kittle from the 49ers. So that was a cool little spot there for him. Yeah, so night one was phenomenal. I have zero complaints. I said good to great because the great happened at the, in the main events and then the Charlotte match. Now, let's move to night 2. And I guess I'll call this the bad. Definitely did not live up to night 1, in my opinion. Some good moments. Brock and Omos. Yeah, Brock got him up for the F5. Pretty straightforward. Really didn't expect too much from that match. The Bianca and Asuka match. Very disappointing finish to that for me. With the build-up that we got, the new character of Kana for Asuka, all of those promos that she did, looking in the mirror and seeing the clown face and all that kind of stuff that she did, and, the build-up again to this, I personally think that this should have been the time that she should have gone over and should have beaten Bianca Belair. Bianca's had the title for quite a long time. And I do think it should have been Asuka's to win. The match was okay. The only thing was, and she did use the mist. We figured that she would, because of Muda and everything like that. We figured she would use the mist, and she did. But it was a little bit, like I said, little lackluster. She missed with the mist. So really, I was puzzled by that. I forgot about Seth Rollins and Logan Paul on night one. That was phenomenal as well. And then the women's tag match. Women's tag match is okay. I mean, we knew Shayna and Ronda were going to win. Shayna and Ronda, just looking out my window, making sure nobody's coming. Shayna and Ronda, they kind of just let everybody else beat each other up, right? They weren't even in the ring until the very end. And then, of course, they won. No real surprise. And then, of course, your main event. Phenomenal match. Absolutely phenomenal match. Several times, Solo Sikoa interfered, and then finally the referee threw him out. So I figured, oh my God, good, he's gone. Well, no sooner that happens than, of course, the Usos come down and interfere, and that's when Sami and KO came down. Now, that I kind of saw coming, too. I made mention of that, that they're going to help each other and they're going to come down and help against the Usos, and they did. What I didn't see coming was Solo coming back down in a hoodie, and then, of course, the referee was out of the road, Paul Heyman distracting the referee at the end of the match. So many false finishes in that. I mean, Cody even escaped the guillotine, and no one has done that. No one has done that wrestling Roman Reigns. And this was why I thought, okay, he's got to win this. He busted out of the hold that no one has gotten out of since Roman Reigns has been the champion. He's got to win this. And then the distraction of the referee happens with Heyman, which I knew was coming. The belt was even tossed in there a couple times, and there's so much stuff going on. But Solo shows up again, gives him the Samoan spike, and I was even at that point being like, no, come on, don't end it like this. Don't end it like this. And sure enough, Cody goes down, Roman gets the pin, and that was how it ended. Very, very, very poor to ugly ending to that for me. I made mention on the stream. It was hard for me to keep my emotions in. I was very upset about it. Really thought the wrong person went over, and I let that be clear on that stream. I apologize if I offended anyone. That was just me being me, and it just came out. So I was upset. I was pissed off. I didn't think the right person went over. I didn't see the logic in it at all with the buildup of the Cody story and even the buildup in this match. Like, as I said, him escaping finisher after finisher after finisher, and even the guillotine. To me, it was the buildup of this past year. From Cody coming back in the Rumble, to being injured, to winning the Rumble, and now to get here. All that buildup. His family was there. John Huber's son was there. All of that buildup. And then they just do the same thing again anyway. Where Roman cheats to win, and he wins and keeps the title. I know there's factors, right? What were they thinking? I don't know. The 1,000 thing. Even the funny thing is about that, even Roman in the press conference after that said, we aren't even thinking about 1,000 anymore. So I don't even know if that's what it is. I just don't know, and I just didn't understand. So I was not thrilled with that decision, and I was hoping for something good on Raw last night, which we get to the ugly. Hoo boy. Well, before Raw started, we heard, actually during night 2, we heard that WWE was going to be sold to Endeavor. Endeavor is the company that does the MMA stuff and all of that. Then we saw a press conference with Vinnie Mac and his nice new dyed black hair and his cheesy little porn mustache. On whatever that was, talking press conferences, and he was asked about creative, and he gave this cryptic answer. You're going to be involved in creative. Well, I'm not going to be in the weeds. Well, what the hell does that even mean? In the weeds. Like, I'm not going to be in the weeds, but I'm going to be. So basically what he explained, when people translated weeds, meant that he's not going to be like doing the show, but he's going to be approving the show or approving the higher stuff. That's what everybody had said, right? So comes time for Raw. Now, Raw after Mania has traditionally been huge. A huge, huge show. Some big returns. People come out. The new storylines start, right? Everything changes. Everything starts over. Well, man, to me, did it fall flat. And I wasn't the only one who said it. The Cody thing at the beginning, he comes out, he said to Roman he wants to challenge him for a rematch. Roman gives the mic to Heyman. Heyman says there will be no rematch. Okay. Everybody was thinking, well, he's going to get a rematch at Backlash. Well, apparently not. And then he said, but we are willing to do a tag team match. All right, cool. Who's his tag partner? Nobody's going to want to tag with you because then they'll never get another shot at the title. That was the stipulation. That was the stipulation, right? So whoever loses, or whoever tags with you will never get another shot at the title. So who comes out? Brock Lesnar. Now, Brock Lesnar's contract is supposedly up or very close to it. So this could be his farewell again for a while, right? He always does these weird things where he can get kicked out and attacks people, and then he's gone because he gets suspended, right? So he volunteers to do that. The rest of the show, I'll be honest, I remember Ricochet and Bobby, which was shocking to everybody again, because there was another opportunity where you could have brought Bray back into it, or at least Uncle Howdy. Didn't happen. Bobby had a little confrontation with Bronson Reed in the hallway, basically said that, so it looks as if that's the program, going to be Bobby and Bronson Reed. Meantime, Ricochet interrupts. Bobby takes him out to the ring. Now, you would have thought right there, okay, here we go. This might be the time. Nope, nothing. Seth Rollins came out. Very weird, right? They played his music. People were singing. They sang him in. He gets all the way down to the ring. He's in the ring. All of a sudden, and you found out today, because someone took a picture, he was talking to people on the outside of the ring, and they told him, cut it. And they cut him short. So basically, he just stood out there, let them sing to him, and left. I don't know if it was cut for time. I don't know if it was cut for anything else. Whatever. Then you come to the main event. I'm not even going to go into the rest of it because it bored me. And it was just, Riddle showed up. Riddle was the big surprise to come back. And then you have the main event. There was no main event. Brock comes down. Brock attacks Cody Rhodes. People are like, why, Brock? Why? Well, Brock does what he wants, does what he's told. But he comes down, attacks Cody, destroys him, basically, leaves him laying in the ring. And, Cody trying to get up. All the people are out there, the officials, the ambulance people, all of that business is out there. Brock goes out the door, comes back and flips a double bird to the audience, to whoever, to Cody, to Adam Pearce, to the doctors, maybe to the ring announcers, to the fans. I don't know. But he flipped everybody off, and he walked away. Now, I did think I heard when he was screaming at Cody, they were beeping it out, because it might have been cursing, expletives. But I think that he had said that was supposed to be mine, or it could have been that shot was supposed to be mine, meaning he should have had the title shot. I don't know. In any case, he beat the hell out of him, walked away, flipped the bird, and that's how the show ended. Then we find out today. I listened to Sean Ross Sapp a little bit yesterday, too. There were rumors that Sean was talking about last night, but then we find out that Vince was indeed in the gorilla position, and the script was changed at least 3 times during the course of the show. So, disappointing. Because he had said he was going to be wasn't in the weeds. Now is the weed gorilla. You kind of think that would mean that, right? But it has come out that Vince McMahon has changed, or was in gorilla, and the scripts were changed a whole bunch of times. That's the ugly. Last thing I think anybody wanted. We were through this before, years ago. I have nothing really to say about Vince, the man, because we all know what the man is like. Obviously, Endeavor, I forget the name of the CEO of Endeavor, but he apparently thinks highly of Vince and wants Vince to be in charge. I will let you formulate your own opinion about what will happen if that happens. The other thing Sean Ross Sapp reported today was that the talent backstage, when they knew that he was going to be doing this, the morale was low. That was what he said. So that's the ugly. The go homes, or the WrestleMania after the Raw after Mania last night was one of the worst I've seen. Worst I've seen. They are usually amazing, and it was horrible. It seemed like it was piecemealed together, which it was. And most of it just made no sense. Now, people have shown me pictures today and stuff like that about Cena, when Cena went through his, what they called hard times, after Brock beat him up and stuff. So maybe they're just rehashing that with Cody. I don't know. But I'm a little bit nervous about what's going to happen next. I really don't know what's going to happen next. I wasn't happy with the show last night. Wasn't necessarily that happy with night 2. We'll see what happens going forward. I guess that's really all we can do. I do know, and Sean Ross Sapp, and I'll leave you with this. I do know that Sean brought this point up as well. If you think about it, look at how many of the people who were brought back by Triple H. And what are they doing? Gargano's in NXT. Loomis's was in NXT. Cross, aside from being involved in that Battle Royal. Scarlett, not much. The Good Brothers, not much. Mia Yim, Emma. Bronson Reed, looks like he's at least, he almost won the Battle Royal. Looks like he's at least going to fight Bobby. Chelsea Green, a little bit finally here and there. I'm sure there's more. Of course, Dakota and Io, they're doing their thing with Bayley. But all in all, it doesn't seem like a lot of these people who were brought back are involved heavily in storylines. And then the next question comes from Bray Wyatt, because Bray was brought back as well. So all we can do is just wait and see, I guess. As far as he goes and what's next. Obviously, it's not Bobby anymore. So I don't know where or when. It's a lot of people saying, too, with LA Knight. What happened to him? Fan favorite? Wasn't at Mania. And I do want to say, I know a lot of people are complaining about Shane McMahon coming out. I'm fine with that. It could have been somebody else. I think that's what a lot of people are saying. Well, why not have somebody else come out there? LA Knight maybe, or one of those people that we would have liked to have seen. Okay. And I feel horrible for Shane, by the way. Comes in and blows out his knee. That's horrible. He's going to be on crutches or whatever probably for the better part of a year. So, yeah. That's part of that night too. But, so it was a ride this week. It was a ride. I'm not going to say it was a pleasant one all of the time. Impact was great. Well, I shouldn't say that. I didn't see Multiverse, but I heard great things. And the Hall of Fame. I got to say that the Hall of Fame was really good as well. Love seeing Andy Kaufman get put in, and love seeing Jerry the King Lawler, that he's doing well. Andy Kaufman, I grew up with watching Taxi. I love that moment. The Great Muda, loved it how he said he came up on the stage and said he couldn't speak English very well. The Ric Flair talk about him was fantastic. Mike White and the APA was awesome. And, of course, Stacy Keibler looked absolutely amazing. Looked like she didn't age. And Mick Foley and Tori Wilson there with her as well. That was phenomenal. The whole thing was awesome. And, of course, Rey Mysterio. And Dom and Rhea walking out and everything. And the Rey-Dom match was awesome as well. The entrance with the lowrider by Rey, fantastic. Fantastic. Wonderful, wonderful tribute to Eddie Guerrero. And then, of course, the Dom entrance doing hard time in the prison, right, was cool, too. So there you go. It was a roller coaster this week, guys. I won't lie. Lot of really up highs and a lot of low lows. And, you know, we're just going to have to sit back and go on the ride and see where this is going to lead. With this stuff with Vince and stuff. I have to admit too, and a lot of people mention this, the Triple H thing at the beginning did certainly come off as being a goodbye as well to me. Not I'm leaving the company, but a goodbye in essence, like I'm kind of not going to be doing the same stuff I was doing before. That's how it came off to me a little bit. So, all right, guys, that is going to do it for me for this week of Wrestling Ramblings from an Old Man. Again, if you watched the stream, you saw my reactions after that. If I offended anyone, I apologize. But that was just me being me. I couldn't help it. Sometimes things happen, right? You say things and I don't think I said it because I didn't mean it, because that was actually genuine in the way that I felt when I did. So, but if it offended anyone, I apologize. I was just being genuine and exclaiming how I felt. And they got me wrapped up into that storyline with Cody. And I just wanted to see him win. But that is it for me for the week. Coming up this week, we have Impact Wrestling, 7:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Thursday. We've got SmackDown at the same time on Friday, and then we're done. Nothing else this week. Of course, Sunday is Easter, so have a great Easter weekend with your family and your friends. And celebrate, get some chocolates, whatever it is you do. If you're from England, you really should send me a thing of those white chocolate. They came out with those white chocolate Terry's oranges. Oh my God, I would die. But yeah, if you ever want to send me a gift, there you go. All right, everybody, have a great rest of your day. And I hope to see you all next week for more ramblings from an old man. Take care, everybody.